People keep asking me since I'm getting older, how do I live? Because they want to know how to do it too. Well, I'm 95 now. I'm going to retire when I'm 100. And everybody wants to know, so I'll tell you how I live. I get up every morning very early. I wake up at 4 o'clock every morning. I get most of my work done before breakfast. You know, I get up, I have my devotionals. That's number one. And then I get to doing my work. My email from overseas, it comes in just fine at that time. So I can get all that work taken care of in advance. I write my articles. I do my studying. I get a lot done before breakfast. I have breakfast at 6:30. Every morning, breakfast is 6:30. And then I want to space my meals properly so the next meal won't come till 12:30 or 1 o'clock. Now, I do something different than other people. I don't have a supper. I'm eating only 2 meals a day. And it's kind of exciting since I've done this for 70-some years. It's kind of exciting. Now there's scientific evidence for doing this. There's a Dr. PhD, Courtney Peterson, at the University of Alabama. And she is excited about eating everything in the day before 2 p.m. That would mean 2 meals a day, just like I've been doing, okay? She says not only does it help the weight control program we have in the United States, but it helps sleep problems, and it helps circadian rhythm. It's a good plan. And she says you have advantages over and beyond what the weight loss does. There's something special about this 2 meal a day like program, eating before 2 p.m. All right? So what do I do for breakfast? What kind of breakfast do I have? I like fruits more than vegetables, and I usually have fruits and whole grains for breakfast, okay? Now, I don't like this refined stuff. Waffles are refined, you know, white flour, put syrup on top or honey on top, sugar on top. My wife designed the best waffle recipe you've ever seen. 2-to-2 recipe. 2 cups of oats, 2 cups of water, 2 spoonfuls of oil, and then perhaps you also need a little salt, half a teaspoon of salt. Then that makes a white waffle. But people like brown waffles. So you add some kind of carbohydrate to make it brown. Half a banana, third of an apple, 2 tablespoons of applesauce, all kinds of things you can add carbohydrate to make it brown. And you warm that waffle iron up, have it hot. When you pour in your batter that's been blended up in this blender, you pour it in and wait about 15 minutes, you have a most delicious waffle. Then you put your almond butter or peanut butter on top, and then your strawberries on top of that. And if you want to, another waffle, another. You could keep going higher and higher, okay? So that's what I have for breakfast. But also for breakfast, I have tofu. I use quite a bit of tofu. Tofu and potatoes, hash browns, tofu with rice. My rice is always brown rice. And, of course, for breakfast, it's whole grain, so it's always brown rice, or it's oatmeal, or it's quinoa, or it's cornmeal. It's cooked whole wheat. There's all kinds of breakfast cereals that are good. The cooked cereals are better nutritionally than the dry cereal. You can make your own granola. If you buy granola at the store, it's 20% sugar. So I don't buy it at the store. I make my own. But so that is one dry cereal I can use at home. But usually I have cooked cereal, okay? Now, for the second meal, I don't have a wife now. She passed away 7 years ago. So I'm lucky to get anything at all in the way of food. So usually the second meal, I hate to mess up a kitchen just for one person. So I usually go out to eat. And around where I live, there are so many vegetarian restaurants. Loma Linda Hospital has a whole lot of them that I could go and get food. And that's what I usually do. Or Chinese food. I grew up in China. I love Chinese food. Or Thai restaurants. I can get this kind of food, vegetarian thing. We have a Buddhist restaurant, Chinese food, right close to us. And I go there frequently. We have a Chinese buffet where you can choose what you want. And I love papaya so much. They have fresh papaya. So I go in there and get my fresh papaya. It's delicious. So that's what I do far as eating concerned. No evening meals, that makes free time for me. Okay? Then exercise. I got to get some exercise. Now, when I was home, I went outside and took care of the land. We have trees dying. You got to cut them down. I needed wood for the heat, so you get plenty of things to do there. Chopping the wood, I did it by hand for many, many years. When I was 80, I decided I needed a wood cutter, wood splitter. So I got the wood splitter. But it's still a lot of work. So I like to do that for my hobby and for my sport. But my garden was good. I had almost a hectare into cultivation, had 80 fruit trees. I planted 3,000 strawberry plants 1 year in the garden. I had my own grape vineyard. Every year we produced about 80 liters of grape juice, much better than what you bought in the store. It's just better flavor. I had my own tomatoes, my own potatoes. I had blueberries. I had raspberries. It was a beautiful garden. And that kept me busy. That's exercise. I like useful exercise. Now I've moved down to Loma Linda, more of a city environment, in an apartment. Don't have a chance to do the garden. Then I've got to go to a gym and do exercise I don't like to do, just treadmill or something like this. It's not useful. It goes against my principles. I'd much rather be out there in the garden. I do a lot of studying. I'm keeping up with the nutrition literature. I'm a nutritionist, physician, so I keep up with the new things that are happening. I used to have to go to the library all the time, but now, through what you can find on your computer, you can get all the articles right there that you need practically from your computer. So I look up certain journals every day just to keep up on what the new things are. So I'm able to go and lecture. I travel a lot, going overseas, trying to help other people that haven't heard the things that I know, that I love to go and tell them about the advantage of the vegetarian diet. I like to tell them about the 7 risk factors to lower your heart attack risk 80%. Those are tremendous concepts that haven't gotten around the world. And we should get those concepts out to let people know what the ideal lifestyle is, how they could all live longer. There's recent research that shows all these long-lived people had 10 biochemical factors or physical factors, all at proper levels. That's why they live so long. They noticed that in the general population, 20% of the people had those same factors, even though they didn't live that long. It just tells me that if they lived the right lifestyle, they could live that long. So I think about 20% of the population could easily live over 100. And I expect to live that long too. I plan to retire when I'm 100, another 4.5 years, and I'll be there.